Hey everybody, welcome back to Pure Guitar Gear once again. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Once we hit 1,000 subs, I'm going to be giving away an Airlane drive for free, shipped to your house. We're almost to 500 subscribers, and once we hit 500 subs, I'm going to give away something else too. Once I get to 500, I'm going to make a video. Whoever is the 200th comment on the video will be getting something special for a Telecaster sent to you for free. So keep an eye out for that. Let's get into it. I want to talk to you guys about home studio microphones and what you need to get started. Now, this is going to be like in reference to you want to start live tracking. Because when I first started acquiring gear, my goal was, hey, I want to be able to live track. I want to leave everything set up in the studio or in the garage where my band or my friends, we can come over. I could just hit record in Logic and go. So this is going to be a quick little video, what I think are must-haves for a home studio. So first, I'm going to start with an easy one is this mic, the Shure SM7B. I have two of these. You can use them for basically anything. I've used them in the past on the channel for miking guitar cabs, use them for vocals, and you can also use them for doing what I'm doing now, just talking into them. They're great mics. They're not terribly expensive. You can get them for around $400, but on Reverb, they're a lot cheaper. And it's just an all-around great mic. I mean, there is plenty of big studios that they'll use these for scratch vocals, and sometimes the scratch vocals sound so good that they'll just use the scratch vocals sung in an SM7B for the actual record. They're a little bit on the pricier side, especially for just, you know, kind of the run-of-the-mill mic, but they sound great. They do a lot of cool things. There's a reason why they're in studios everywhere, so it's a great choice. So definitely pick one of these up. Next on the list is, of course, the SM57. Now, obviously, these are on the list. I literally have these just laying around everywhere. I probably have like 7 of them. They're great for everything. Live application, mic and cabs. You could sing in these things. There's footage of Tom Petty back in the 70s using this as a live vocal mic. I could use it as a mic right now to do talking, and they're just great to have. They're literally a do-it-all microphone, and I know you hear that from everybody, but it's true. When you're in a pinch, you know, the old adage is just slap a 57 on it, and it's going to sound great. Now, instead of buying these like individual, I think they're around $100. You can get them a lot cheaper, Facebook Marketplace. You know, I've seen them as low as like $50 on Reverb. But my suggestion is, you know, grab 1 or 2 of these just to have, and then get this. So this is a Shure drum microphone pack. Now, the cool thing about this, it comes with 3 57s. Not only does that pack come with 3 57s and all the hardware for miking a drum kit, it also comes with a kick drum mic. And if you're going to be live tracking, you're definitely going to need minimum a kick drum mic. It comes with the Shure Beta 52A. I bring this for shows for my drummer, stick it in the kick drum. You can put it on a stand, stick it outside the kick drum, but I think it sounds better inside the kick drum. It's a really good deal because, you know, you get 3 57s and a kick drum mic. There's all your 57s if you're not live tracking, and you have this in your bag to just kind of use whenever. As a guitar player, I like to have drum mics because, you know, I like the way 57s sound. I think they're adequate. That being said, you know, in a real big studio setting, people are miking drums sometimes with like 10, 15 mics, and that's not wrong. Obviously, it's correct. These big studios, there's a reason they do that because it sounds awesome. But if you're just live tracking, you can kind of get by with a kick drum mic and a bunch of 57s. So next up on the list, when you get your bases covered, when you get your 57s and some SM7Bs, and you want to maybe step it up a little bit with vocals, you're going to want to get a condenser mic. So keep in mind, condenser mics, you're going to need phantom power most of the time. So that's a whole nother video with what interface you're running, or you could just run phantom power to it. For these, I have a couple of them, and I got good deals on them, so that's why I have them. I'm not really a vocalist, but I want to have the option to lay down vocals if somebody wants to lay vocals down. And these are good for not just vocals. You can put them in conjunction with a 57 and, you know, run 2 mics. You can use them as a room mic. You can use them on horns. You can use them on anything, but you just have to be a little more mindful because they're a lot more sensitive. But I just have your standard run-of-the-mill Nyman TLM102. They're a great mic. I use this a lot, actually. I used to use this as my primary like video mic. The one thing about these is you're gonna want to invest in like a cradle, because like I was saying earlier, they're very sensitive. So anytime you bump the stand, you're going to hear it, and it just gets annoying. So this cradle kind of helps mitigate that. You know, it's got a nice look to it as well. And you can get these in combos. Sometimes on Reverb, you can get, you know, a condenser mic like a TLM 103 or a 102 or a 147, I think. And a lot of times they come with the cradle. But if not, I found I didn't spend the extra money on the Nyman cradle because it's like almost as much as the microphone. There's so many other options out there where you can get, you know, a cheaper version. As long as it's got a good shock mount system in it, you should be fine. The next mic that is not really a need, but it's nice to have another condenser mic that just has a little bit different flavor. You know, just sounds a little different, and it's good to have an extra one on hand, because I find myself with the condenser mics, when I'm doing drums, I'll have a 57 on the tom, the snare, the hi-hat, the kick drum mic in there, and instead of running like two condensers overhead, it's kind of a lot. So what I'll do is I'll put just a single condenser mic over the drums, just to kind of get that room sound, and I use this for that. It's an old mic. It's a CAD audio. I guess it's like a 214 or a 414 kind of clone. It's an old mic. I actually got this at a church. They were like liquidating all their stuff, which is another video I want to talk about, because I've gotten some crazy deals on like gear from churches who are just getting rid of stuff, and they're going all digitaling and modeling amps. So check your churches. They're selling shit for cheap. But this is a cool mic. I've used this a couple times, you know, just to get like rough mixes and stuff. I've literally just put one of these in a room, and you'll be surprised because it's a figure 8 pattern. You hear a lot of the stuff. As long as everything's positioned, you know, in a good spot, you really can get a pretty decent sound for a demo on here. But I like to have a couple of these laying around. You never know, you know, when you're going to need another condenser mic. They're just good to have laying around, you know, because they sound great, and, you know, you can find them not that expensive. You don't have to go crazy and buy like a Nyman U47 or U87, whatever they are, and spend $5,000 on a mic. Honestly, if you're not running like proper outboard gear, you're not going to be able to tell the difference. If you're not driving those mics with a really good preamp and a nice compressor, I mean, you're really not going to notice. So after you kind of have all your bases covered, you know, you got your dynamic mics, you have a couple condensers, you have multiple 57s, and you just want something different, I would suggest going out and just getting a ribbon mic. And ribbon mics used to be pretty unobtainable for normal people. You know, it's kind of hard to go out and justify spending, you know, $1,200 on like a Royer 121 or something when you're doing guitar recordings for fun in your garage or your home studio. What I did is I went out and got this bad boy. This is a Golden Age Project ribbon mic. It's an active ribbon mic. You can run phantom power to it, because ribbon mics usually are very, very quiet. And if you don't have a really, really nice preamp driving them, you're going to be like, what the fuck? I can't even hear this thing. If you got a nice preamp, by all means, go get a passive ribbon mic. But if you don't, go out and get one of these, man. They look really cool. You could do vocals on these. I've mic'd up guitar cabs with these. Room sounds, whatever. You just have to be careful because you don't want to mess up the ribbon. They're very, very fragile, so you don't want to drop it. But funny enough, I've dropped this before and it works just fine. Ribbon mics are cool because they're a little darker. So the Nashville guitar tone is usually a 57 on the cone and then some sort of ribbon mic on the outside of it, and you just blend them together. So I got two more kind of, one's a microphone, one's not a microphone, but it kind of fits in the realm of like home studio and what you might want. So the first one is just another kind of dynamic microphone. It's a Sennheiser E609. It's really convenient because you don't need stands. You just kind of hang it on top of your guitar amp and put it right in front. Different sound than a 57, and it's really good for live too. So I keep like 2 of these in my go bag just for gigs, just in case I need one or one goes out. I'll always have an extra one. And I didn't forget about you bass players out there. So if you're going like traditional and you want to just like, if you want to just mic a bass cab, you could use the kick drum mic. It doesn't sound awful. It works. Think about getting like a DI box. I have the Warm Audio Direct Active box. And what you can do is it just splits your signal. You run a line to your interface and you record directly into that. And then if you're live tracking, you just plug the other end into your amp and it just signals right to them and splits them. So these are really, really cool. This one's awesome. I use this a lot. I let our bass player use this when we play live and it works great and it sounds really good too. And you can use it for guitar as well. If you're trying to get a clean signal into your interface and maybe you're doing some modeling or you want to do an amp design or whatever, and they're not terribly expensive. I actually have a video about this too. Check it out. It's pretty good. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I hope this helped a little bit. I know microphones can be kind of like a daunting thing, but it really doesn't have to be. There's only like 3 or 4 different kinds that you really need to kind of get you going. So make sure to like and subscribe. Take it easy. Peace.